not seen before on YouTube, but is a video that I have searched for in the past, and one that I think would have been helpful for me when I first started riding. So this video is gonna be focusing on the riding experience and how it differs from the US to the UK. Asterisk, this video will not be focusing on everything that's dissimilar within the US and the UK. Let's get going. So, number one on my list is you are riding on the other side of the road. As you can see now, I'm currently riding on the right-hand side of the road, and in the UK, we drive and ride on the left-hand side of the road. So this was actually something that was really strange for me when I came over here. When I first moved here, I was driving, I wasn't riding at that time. I never got my motorcycle license in the UK. I have ridden in the UK after I got my license here, but I didn't start in the UK. And so riding on the right-hand side of the road was definitely an adjustment. In a car, you're actually driving on the other side of the vehicle. So the steering wheel is on the left-hand side of the car instead of the right-hand side of the car. And if you drive a manual, which not many people seem to drive here in the US, that I've seen at least. If you're driving a manual, then obviously the gear stick is going to be on the right in the US, whereas it's on the left in the UK. Even though I actually had an automatic car when I moved here, I kept automatically going to get the gear stick with my left hand. The amount of times I would just punch my door. I had a lot of bruises, let's put it that way. It's just the act of being on the other side of the road, which can be a little confusing when you are riding from the UK to the US, because you're not on the other side of the car, you're actually just in this one space. And if you're used to driving on the right hand side and then you go to the UK, you have to drive on the left hand side, you have to really be a lot more conscious about it than perhaps if you were driving a car where it's like, okay, I'm on the other side of a car, so I have to be on the other side of the road. So that kind of leads me to my second point, which is the biker wave. In the US, motorcycle riders wave with the left hand to one another. If you see a motorcycle coming, take your hand off the handlebar, put it down, usually using your two fingers. You can use your whole hand, you can just put your thumb up. Normally though, it's this kind of wave. Whereas in the UK, bikers will nod to one another with their head. Right around the time I actually started riding that I figured that out. I never really saw bikers doing that in front of me when I was driving in the car. I was just nodding to bikers because that's what everyone did in the UK. I did it as a passenger. I saw bikers doing it to each other all the time. When I rode with my dad a lot, I would see him doing it too. So I thought, that's how you greet another biker. If it doesn't seem obvious yet as to why in the US people take their left hand off and wave versus in the UK where you just nod, it is related to being on the other side of the road. So in the UK, it's hard to do a biker wave for a biker to see you with your right hand, because you have to take it off of the throttle and then you're going to lose speed, and that can be dangerous. It can get choppy. In the US, since you're driving on the other side of the road, you can put your hand out, other bikers will see you with their hand out, and yeah, in the UK, you just nod, other people can see you nod, everyone nods. It's a really nice day today. Oh, ready to see my shadow? Woo! Okay, so difference number 3. And oh my gosh, this was a huge one, which I kind of knew before, but I didn't know it in enough detail. This difference is the helmet laws. In the UK, by law, you have to always be wearing a motorcycle helmet when you are riding. Whereas in the US, the laws are pretty flexible about when you have to wear your helmet. It varies by state, so the helmet laws differ depending on what state you are residing. In Florida, anyone who is over the age of 21, by law, must wear a helmet. But once you reach 22, you can do whatever you want. However, there is another stipulation that applies in Florida. You have to be over the age of 21 and have health insurance. So that's Florida. There are some states where there is 0 helmet laws. So anybody of any age does not need to wear a helmet. And you also don't need health insurance. And there are some other states where the age differs, but you don't need health insurance. I think it's pretty common that you have to be like 18 or under and wear a helmet when you're riding or on a motorcycle, so whether you're the rider or the passenger. And another variation in the US is that some states require all people to wear helmets at all times when operating a motorcycle. One of the states that I know has that law in place is California. I also think Nevada has that law, and maybe a few others. There are a few states which are similar to the UK in terms of their helmet laws. For the most part, they are dissimilar and they're very flexible. And let me tell you, a lot of people, at least here in Florida that I've seen, choose not to wear a helmet because it's too hot or it messes up their hair. Well, hopefully you don't have an accident without a helmet on. Alright, difference number 4. Lane splitting and lane filtering. I did not know when moving here that it is against the law to filter through traffic and lane split. I'm sure most of you know what that means, and if you don't, lane filtering, basically when you are in traffic, so there are just a bunch of cars stopped at a traffic light, for example, and then you can just hit the middle all the way between the cars and then get to the front of the line on your motorcycle. And then lane splitting is when you're on the move and you're kind of going between cars. That is kind of controversial. Some people think you should be able to do that, some people think you shouldn't, but hey, it's illegal here either way. And when I say it's illegal, I mean here in Florida and a bunch of other states in the US. So I know that in California, filtering through traffic is legal. I believe it is the one and only state where it is legal. Maybe a few cities you're allowed to do it. Does that mean that people don't do it? No. I've seen many riders filter through traffic here in Florida, whereas in the UK, like California, unlike the 49 other states, it is legal to filter through traffic and lane split. But if you want my 2 cents, I think that lane filtering and splitting is beneficial, not only to the riders, but also to the general flow of traffic. I think it helps. Oh, let's do bike wave. Bike wave. Okay, where was I? Lane filtering, lane splitting benefits. I also think that it is much safer for motorcycle riders to be in front of cars at like traffic lights, for example, when everyone is stopped and it's safe to split through the traffic. So yeah, I'm a proponent of lane splitting. I don't do it here, and one of the reasons I don't is mainly because it is illegal, and also because drivers here really aren't looking out for motorcycles. Whereas in the UK, at least for me, when I was learning to drive there, you're always taught to look for motorcycle riders. So you see them more often, you know to look out for them. And people seem to get less stressed out when they see them there than they do here. Oh my gosh. Sometimes you can just pull up next to a car in your lane and then they'll get freaked out, they'll look jarred, they'll look alarmed. They're like, why are you even on the road? Let alone if you were to, you know, go right past their windows when they're in traffic, they get infuriated. I've seen it before. I'm not saying people in the UK don't either. I've also seen people get very upset with people lane splitting, but for the most part, it seems to be a safer practice in states and countries or cities where lane splitting and filtering is legal, just because people are more likely to look out for you and not get as angry and frustrated with you on the road. Okay, Another difference, I think this is difference number 5, that you can turn right on a red light in the US. That also comes with the territory of driving on the other side of the road, on the right hand side of the road. In the UK, you can't turn left on a red light. Turning right on a red light was something that I was completely oblivious to when I moved here. I remember being in my car and I'm needing to make a right turn and I'm sitting at the light because you can't go anywhere if there's a red light in the UK. You know, red means stop, not go. So I'm stopped there, the red light, and then I hear beep beep, looking behind me, and there's someone in the window doing all these hand movements, clearly looking upset, and I'm like, I don't know what your problem is, but it's a red light, I'm not going. And then it went green and then I went. And then I told one of my American friends about it afterwards, and they were like, oh yeah, you could have turned right. It was the red light, but as long as no pedestrians are coming and there's no traffic coming, you can turn right. And I was like, what? That to me, that was crazy. I was like, oh, okay. There's a red light, but it's just a suggestive light. It's not really like actually stop. But the requirement is that no pedestrians are walking in front of you and there must be no vehicles coming. Both obvious things. You don't want to run someone over. You don't want to get in an accident with another car. There are some areas and traffic lights that you cannot turn on, and there's usually a big huge sign saying no turn on red. So yeah, that applies to motorcycle riding. In the UK, you cannot turn on a red light. If it's red, it's red. You got to stop and wait for it to be green. So now we have a flashing amber light, or yellow, because Americans don't use the term amber. Are you ready to see a beautiful sunset? Okay, so the sun has set. It is time to leave. I am getting eaten alive by bugs. I don't know if you can see these little gnats flying around here. Maybe you can see them all around my face, I don't know. But they are very annoying. And it's making me itch. Well, that was a beautiful sunset. I hope you all enjoyed it. And you friends? Look at it. So I did get my motorbike license while I was living in the US, but I have ridden a motorbike since getting my license in the US in the UK. So I've seen a lot of the differences from riding, but I've also seen a lot of the differences from being a passenger. It's so cute when little kids wave at you on the bike. Now I'm done with looking at the same sunset from a different angle. I'm gonna head back home. So you guys, thank you for watching this video. I'm glad that I recorded tonight because the sunset turned out to be absolutely stunning. And if you would like to like, subscribe, share, it would be much appreciated. Good night, guys.